welcome back to another episode of The Root of Old Disney. I'm your host, the Irish Mad Hatter. If you just heard the Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, I did put that in today because Little Richard had passed away. Little Richard has worked with Disney with the concert series back in the day, and he also worked with Jim Henson, which is also another part of the Disney company. So he worked with the Muppets. So I would like to say thank you, Little Richard, and rest in peace. So let's get into today's episode, which is a pretty big episode. We have Shanghai Disneyland opening up. We have Hong Kong Disney announcing that they're going to be reopening probably at the end of this month. We got Disney Springs opening up this in 2 weeks from tomorrow. No, 2 weeks from Monday, I believe it is. If that's the 20th, I don't have a calendar for me, so don't go call me out on this. But it's 2 weeks. We also have a couple other Disney announcements, like we'll go to Disney Plus's Mandalorian, and a bunch of other stuff. So let's just dive into Shanghai Disneyland, because that was the first thing that got announced, which was Shanghai Disneyland is opening up on Monday, May 11th. They are going to require all guests to wear masks, all cast members to wear masks. There will be no meet and greets, but I'll get back to you, but let me explain everything else. Right now, I don't have any information about the fireworks or the parades. We did hear about a couple weeks ago that they were trying to test it out. I don't know if it worked. I guess we'll find out more after Monday night. So next week we'll know a little bit more information about what's going on with those parades and fireworks. But with the Shanghai not doing meet and greets, they decided to do something else. They decided to, right where the Shanghai Disneyland Railroad Station is in the beginning when you first walk into the park, they're going to have characters go and wave to people, for a couple of minutes, do like a little parade that way, so that people, it's a little bit of a normalcy, because we know that there are going to be little kids going to go there and they'll be like, oh, where's Mickey, where's Minnie, where's all them characters, why can't I meet them? So this is their way of compensating for that. They said that the princesses and princes and any character that is not a costume character does not have to wear a mask, because Disney wants to keep the magic alive. So what they're going to do is, when they do the parades with the princesses and stuff and do the waving, those princesses and princes are all going to be 6 feet apart from each other. That way they could stick to the strict guidelines that are going to be taking place, along with the temperature checking. Anybody who's got the green Q code is allowed in. Anybody who doesn't have it cannot go into their park. So that's going to be pretty interesting to hear, because there was a lot of people, were mad, but you also got to remember that Walt Disney Company, does not own all the rights to Shanghai. So China can open it up anytime they want. It's their choice. It's not Disney's choice. It's them, because the country owns it. They only get percentage of merchandise and everything else. That's about the extent of it, and they get to give them their characters and stuff. Now, May 15th, Hong Kong Disney is taking reservations. Now, they didn't have an opening date, but that is a step for Hong Kong reopening. Hong Kong was also closed the same exact time as Shanghai. So now with Shanghai opening up with the strict rules, with Hong Kong being able to take the reservation starting May 15th, I believe that it will start a chain reaction where we will get through this and it will start getting better. They were closed for 107 days. So that was from January until now. Our American parks closed in March, so we're not at the 107 days yet. So we don't have a date yet because Disney hasn't made an announcement. Tokyo Disneyland already announced that because of it's so bad with the viruses over there, they will not be reopening. And they will be opening, they will open up, but they will not open at this moment. They are going to stay indefinitely closed because of they basically got their second wave. I don't know how they got their second wave. If they did everything like China and America and all of them are doing it, I don't understand. Maybe they did something different. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have strict rules as everyone else in the world had. No news yet on Disneyland Paris either, because Disneyland Paris has not made their announcement, but Disney actually gets to announce their opening because Disney owns that park. They bought, as I said a lot in all my podcasts, France does not own Disney Paris anymore. They lost those rights after Euro Disney. So Disney now owns those rights to that park. So Disney only gets to make the announcements of Tokyo, Disneyland, Disney World, and Disneyland Paris. So we probably could see something in the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks from now. But Shanghai opening up this Monday is going to be the focus point of Disney's, let's just say, they're going to watch Shanghai for the next couple of weeks, see how it worked, and if it works out fine, they're going to implement the same rules of opening up their parks here in the States. Now, like I said, because France is so close to Italy, I don't know if they're going to ever reopen, only because of they are still dealing with the coronavirus. Now, I know Italy has officially weaned people off the stay-at-home. They're finally going out, but I don't know what Disney's plan is for that. So we'll have to see. And, hey, if it's successful and Hong Kong can open up at the end of this month, say May 31st, then I would suggest that Disney World and Disneyland, the American parks, could open a little bit at the end of June, beginning of July. But we'll get into that a little bit later because there actually is a story of Disney came out with 2 days ago about that information. So that's they still could possibly open in June because they haven't canceled any of the June people yet. So there's still a possibility, but we'll get into that later. So that was all at the beginning of the week. Now as we came into this week, we had two major sort of holidays, which is kind of funny. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. I will let you know, this is the first year I have partaken in the Star Wars Day. As you could tell on my YouTube show, I did put together some videos of when we were in Galaxy's Edge to put it as a package for Happy Star Wars Day. I usually, I'll celebrate with a shirt or something like that, but I never really got into it. This year, I got into it, and I really wanted the new merchandise that Disney was selling. Unfortunately, because the parks are closed, we didn't get to basically get those, go and get them in the parks. So, me trying to get online, and let me just tell you right now, this is my reaction when I finally got online. Yeah, I felt like the Imperial March, just walking in onto the online, trying to get my stuff. I got there at 10 o'clock like they told me to. And then the system crashed. Within 10 minutes, it crashed. So I lost the Star Wars collectible key, and a couple other things that I wanted to buy. And for many of you who are asking, where am I getting all this money? Just remember, I am getting unemployment. I do get money for every time I get listeners. I get paid to do my podcasts due to my, what are they called? Sponsors and everything. So I get paid by them. So I have money coming in. So just so you people think that I'm going crazy spending, I do have over $3,000 in my savings account right now. So that's I put away every week. I get an unemployment check. I put money away. So just because I know I have family here who are probably going to think, oh my God, where is he spending all this money for? Does he have any money for anything? I do. We pay our bills. My wife still works. I get unemployment. So that's here nor there. But I have money. So I wanted to splurge a little bit. So the system crashed, and Disney's investigating this because this was amazing. This was interesting. Disney is investigating their crash on their website because the system shouldn't have crashed like it did. Now, they do crash sometimes, they mentioned, but they never had it this bad where the whole website was down for hours. I didn't get to go back into the online shop until 7:30 that night. And the key was gone, sold out. The droid was sold out. So, all the Starbucks mugs sold out. So they were gone. The collectible stuff all gone. They're saying that there was illegal bots, let's just say that, illegal actions that were going on, that someone hacked into the Disney shop on the day of Star Wars Day, and they had their friends and everybody else grab everything and block everybody out of the system. So they're in the process right now in doing an investigation of that, because if that comes out to being true, Disney then can't sell the stuff to those people. And then it's funny, right after, like literally right when the system crashed, about 10 minutes after the crash had happened, you go on eBay, they're already selling the stuff that was just put on the website. So that's why Disney's doing an investigation, because of how quickly some of these people already put on eBay to sell Disney products. And that's where Disney got really pissed. It's because someone hacked the system, someone stole all the material for their friends and people who are now considered bots, because they're not going to give out their information, but they're hackers. So they got in, they got what they wanted, they paid for what they did, and then they put everything on eBay so that people will buy it at 4 times the price, because the key was $12.99 and people are selling it for $80 to $100 on eBay. And they're checking and cross-referencing these people to see if they're the same people that were in the investigation of the hacking. So they're going to be doing a huge investigation on this. And they should. They should be doing an investigation because that was complete bull. Because I was there exactly at 10 o'clock. I signed in. I got all my information. They all went to the cart. So when you put in your credit card information, and this is why they're doing the investigation. When everyone put their credit card information in, it booted you out of the system. Meaning, once you got booted out, you were blocked from the site for the whole day until Disney got their people on it and fixed it. Now, they said that people who did the hacking booted the people out and were stealing everyone's credit card information and personal info. Now, I was not part of that because I have Regions Bank down here in Florida, and they give me immediate notifications, and they call me immediately if they see any activity that doesn't seem correct. So I get the immediate, and then they shut down the card and everything. So they're pretty good. So I wasn't part of that, but there were others who I heard online that were part that their information was stolen and their identity was taken from them. So that was a pretty interesting day. Then we had another holiday, which was Cinco de Mayo. And a lot of people were upset because Cinco de Mayo, everyone wanted to go to Epcot for, well, you obviously know, margaritas. So, and the other thing that's in there is I would have gone to Epcot for this.
We're three caballeros, three brave caballeros. They say we are birds of a feather. We're happy amigos, no matter where he goes. The 1, 2, and 3 goes, we're always together. But three caballeros.
Yes, the Three Caballero ride is one of my favorite rides in the Mexico Pavilion. So I would have done a 2-day part. I would have done, if the parks would have been open, I would have gone to Disney's Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios on May the 4th, and then I would have gone to Epcot for Mexico Pavilion and done a lot of Mexico stuff for Cinco de Mayo. There really wasn't any real news going on, but I just wanted to put it in there that, Cinco de Mayo was announced, and everyone wanted to go to Epcot and have fun. A lot of us are, how do you say it, are upset that the parks are not open, but you know what, it's for safety reasons, which I understand. But let me go take a break, and we will be right back. Hey, and welcome back. I just wanted to put that song in there because that's what everyone thought when this announcement was announced the next day after Cinco de Mayo. Or was announced on Cinco de Mayo. I'm getting my days confused because being home, we don't have, a schedule in front of me. So, but Disney Springs is opening up on May 20th. It's official. Disney World is going to open up to Disney Springs for non-Disney stores. That means the restaurants that are not owned by Disney and the stores that are not owned by Disney will be open on May 20th. you are required to wear a mask on all times when on the property. Now, when I heard this is all I can think of when people were going crazy and saying, yes, let's go. And all I heard online was people saying, yeah, we're definitely going. And there's 1,000 people, and this is all I can think of when people say they're going to charge into
Leroy Dragons!
Oh my God. People are already talking about bull rushing Disney Springs on May 20th. There is going to be a capacity limit, so I will be there with my new camera and my new stuff for my show. I'll be promoting my hats and my shirts, but I'll get to that at the end of this episode. But I will be at Disney Springs bright and early in the morning on May 20th. Like I said, I'm probably going to go and do some taping just so I can give you all a look-see in what is going on there. If they're going to have you go a certain way, if they're going to make you, how many people are allowed in each building. I'll get all that information for you all on my not my podcast, but for my my YouTube show. And because it's third party, I could get some people to do some interviews and see if they would be willing to go on the YouTube show to give their ideas of what they think about how it's being run. The other reason I have to go to Disney Springs is because of my Disney sandals that I wear. My slip-on sandals are basically dying right now. They're almost ripped apart. So I know that there's a couple of stores that are not Disney owned that do sell Disney shoes and stuff. So I'm gonna go look and see if they got any sandal wise. If not, I know there's a store that I usually go to pick up some sandals. I need to get a new pair. So I'm going to go there and go get myself a new pair of sandals so I can, boost the economy and give Disney some money here. Because as we just heard, since the Disney closure from January until now, they lost over $1 billion. So they're actually hurting more staying closed than they are than what they're doing. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was jumping 2 miles ahead of myself. No, but they're losing more money. And people keep on saying, oh, well, they're not opening up until 2021. Well, yeah, they could do that, but as they just came out with, they just said their first, was it second quarter? I think we're in the second quarter. I think we are. First quarter? I don't know. But they said they lost over $1 billion. If they stay closed for the whole year, which they won't because Shanghai already opened and Hong Kong's opening, so they won't lose too much money because we all know that their Chinese parts of the company is good with buying stuff, so they won't be a problem there. But they're only going to get like a percentage of that. So they're still going to be hurting. So Disney needs to reopen, and I think this was the right step to go, was to open up Disney Springs starting on May 20th. Do non-Disney for right now. Do that for a couple weeks because so far we are okay. Today is Saturday, so yesterday, this goes along the lines of what I was saying, because Disney Springs opened up, but everyone was wondering, okay, so when is Downtown Disney in California going to open up? Probably not going to open up, and this is why I'm saying it's not. California just went into Phase 2 yesterday. Their Phase 2 is our Phase 1 here in Florida, which is 25% capacity. And just, because last night they announced that they're opening up barbershops and all that stuff here in Florida on Monday. California is not opening up any barbershops or anything like that. They're just opening up the regular, restaurants for you to eat outside and inside with the 6 feet apart, 25% capacity. So they're in phase 2. We're in phase 1. Our phase 1 and their phase 2 are exactly the same. So when I say this stuff, it might sound like California is ahead of us, but they're not. They're actually on the same page. Their phase 1 was stay at home, period. No coming out. That was it. So they're on phase 2. Now, their governor has said they don't plan on opening Disney until phase 4, because they didn't give Disney their rights. I know here in Florida they gave Disney the right to open whenever they want. So Disney, that's why I think Disney's walking a little slower when it comes to this opening of Disney Springs. But California has said, look, Disney's not opening up until phase 4. Don't like it? Tough Mickeys. So when you think about that, that's probably another couple of months away. And this is where we get into this story. Disneyland made an announcement because Disney itself, like the whole Disney, made an announcement that on June 1st, everyone can make a reservation. But Disneyland never came out and said anything about their park. We just assumed that was all Disney. But it actually wasn't. So Disneyland came out on Thursday, and announced that they are not accepting any reservations until July 1st. So that could mean that Disneyland could be at phase 4 as early as July or August. But the governor wants to not open Disney at all until there's a vaccine. Problem with that is there's not going to be a vaccine for a good year. Probably end of next year. So that would make absolutely no sense. And then once they came out with that fiscal, where they lost that over $1 billion, I think that's when California finally woke up and said, look, okay, so Disney's losing this amount of money. They basically have the biggest consumer for us in Anaheim, and we're losing that. If we keep them closed, we're not going to get any revenue from the city of Anaheim. So my best guess is when they finally came out 2 days after they announced that they were $1 billion lost $1 billion, that's where Disneyland came out and said, you know what, fine, we will open up reservations for July 1st, hoping for a July open or an August open. So that is why I'm still keeping my trip to Disneyland, and I called up Disneyland themselves just the other day to see if this is still true, and they told me to keep the trip. Wait until August. If nothing changes in August and they don't have an opening date yet still set and firm, then she said, wait till the end of August, beginning the first week of September. If there's nothing there, then I can call and cancel all my stuff and get my money back. Or I can exchange it for a different date, which me and my wife are looking at January to go. That's because I know they just started working back on the Avengers campus recently, just a couple days ago as well. So that's a good sign. So that means the Avengers campus could still reopen later this year, which I'm hoping it's right when I go in October. But if I have to change it to January, I won't be upset either, because at least I'll know that the Avengers campus will be 100% open then. So there's that for California. They just got to phase 2 after being in phase 1 for about, I think it was 3 weeks. So 3 weeks to the next phase. So we're in phase 1. Right now, we haven't had any new serious COVID-19 emergencies. So we could probably see us hitting phase 2 probably in the next 2 weeks. Probably when that May 20th comes around, or maybe the week after May 20th, we should be seeing a possibility of phase 2 coming into play for Florida, which is a good sign because then Disney Springs will probably open to Disney shops, and then they will probably see. This is where I think it should really go, and this is just my opinion. Don't. This is not from any Disney people. This is my opinion. I think Disney should open one park for right now, and I think that should be the Magic Kingdom. Open that up just for Floridians only and the annual pass holders, and be able to do that so that we can, see how it goes. So that's my opinion. And then gradually open another one, and then another one, and then finally open up all 4. Now, Disney did come out with their announcement about the parks when they do open. And that is, when the parks open, they reserve the right to... And this is just if they open in Phase 1. If they open up in Phase 1, the park, they resume the right to cancel your reservation. So if a family paid for $5,000 for a whole week to come here, it's a family of 4 with 2 children and a mom and dad, and they decide to one day, you know what, let's just do this one. They get off the plane, they get to the hotel, it's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and they want to go to the park. Disney has the right to say, if they get there and say, hey, we're at full capacity, you can't get in the park today. They can send you back to the hotel, and they will work with you at trying to refund the ticket, and they will try to work with you at possibly trying to figure out another date, which is probably going to be, whereas what they'll say is, here, okay, we're not going to refund you, but we'll give it to you for another day. Well, we can't extend our trip. Well, don't worry about that. We'll do this, where it will be, that ticket will be added to another trip, possibly in the future. So if you add that, so if you go on to Disney, like, annually, so, like, say if they went this year and they go next year. Next year, they'll add that day to your trip, and then you just have to coordinate with that extra day. So that's what they're going to do, because Disney's not going to want to lose the money, and they're not going to want to refund, because they've been refunding people like crazy lately. So they're not going to want to do that. And I understand where they're coming from. The man from Mandalorian Disney Plus, the guy who plays in the prequels, Jango Fett, is playing Boba Fett. So yes, he did survive the Sarlacc pit. That was in episode 6. Also, Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars series is also alive, and she will also be debuting also in the Mandalorian series, which takes place after episode 6. So that should be interesting to watch, because I enjoy the Mandalorian a lot. I want to say that I am in the process right now of making my merchandise for my YouTube show and my podcast. As you all saw on my Facebook page group of the Root of All Disney, you would all see my sample of me wearing my gear, and also I'm in the process of making, to sell, I'm making the Root of All Disney Irish Mad Hatter masks, pocketbooks for women, bandanas, anything you could think of, I'm in the process of making for sale. I will be getting that link up so everyone can have a chance to buy it. Also, I am partnering with Make-A-Wish and St. Jude's. So any type of payment you make for a shirt or anything like that will be proceeds will be going to St. Jude's and Make-A-Wish. This is Make-A-Wish month, and these are the two ones I enjoy the most, that I like to work with, because they are one of the two organizations that I can trust. So I will be getting that link out soon. And I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for listening today. And I want you all to have a magical day.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me.
Where the crowds would cheer when they see